Hey guys, welcome back to my PHI Games History, PHI Games History and Reviews. And today we have the comic book review. Um, so if you don't know what this is, or if you're new to this channel, basically this is I'm a comic book collector. So these are comic books I've recently read, or my mom has, because she's the one that buys all my comics. I give them to her to read. Mostly because I'm probably only going to read all these comic books maybe like once or twice in my lifetime. So I thought, hey, I'll just give it to her a week. She wastes like $1,000 on me every year. She might as well see what she's wasting it for. So, yeah. So basically, I review them, kind of talk about them if I know any cool facts or anything. Then just kind of share my thoughts on it. And then I do my rating, which is a 1 to 5 rating scale. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. 3 is like 3 to me is like my happy medium. It was okay. So if there's a comic book that you really like that got a 3, don't be sad. It means it was okay in my standards. So yeah, okay. So we always start the comic book reviews out with the hottest comics are going to according to Go Collect. This is the top 10. Number 1, we have Ultimate Fallout. Number 4, this is the first appearance of Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Next, you have a Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. Number 8, this is the first appearance of the symbiote costume, and also the symbiote costume slash like black suit that Spider-Man's wearing right in front of you. Number 2 is the Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man number 361, first appearance of Carnage, the guy on the left. And I honestly think like these top 10 never really change; they're all the same most of the time. The Ultimate Fallout one I just started to pop up about a couple weeks ago. This one's been on every episode I've done this for. I have no idea why. And same with a lot of other ones that you might recognize. Oh, and same with the Secret Wars number 8. Next got the the New Mutants number 98, first appearance of Deadpool. This one's been on every time. The Amazing Spider-Man number 300 is the first full appearance of Venom. The issue is inked by Todd McFarlane and is the 25th anniversary issue. Next, you have the this is like our first DC in the top 10, I think. The Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen, number 3. Jeez. And this is a newer one, too. Because you can tell the DC symbol on the top right corner, and also the price tag at the bottom for $5. Oh, this is a newer one. Interesting. Okay, next we got the Uncanny X-Men, number 266, the first appearance of Gambit. This one's been on our list a couple times. This next one's always on our list. The Amazing Spider-Man number 252, the first appearance of the symbiote slash black suit in the regular Spider-Man series. Next you have Venom Lethal Protector. It's always on this list every time we do it. It's the first Venom self-titled series, and the first appearance of General Orwell Taylor. And at our number 10 for today, we have the Amazing Spider-Man number 4. First appearance of Silk, and cameo appearance of Morlun. Okay? Yeah. So this comic book has been on here a handful of times. But yeah. So, yeah, that's the top 10 like hottest comic books right now. So next, let's go over to a Bronze Age. If you don't know what the Bronze Age is, it's pretty much basically, I think it's everything from 1970 or 1973 to like the early 90s is the Bronze Age. Right now, there's two names for what we are well, the comic books now. It's the Modern Age or the Copper Age. Those are the two. Yeah, so we're collecting the Copper Age right now. So this is the Bronze Age. And so the Bronze Age, um, well, well, what's different from the other ages? Well, these comic books are smaller, and as the ages go by, the comic books are getting smaller and smaller and smaller in size, until like they are now. Also, not many, only like a handful of new superheroes debuted around this time that actually stayed popular, stuff like that. And and some of the stories used are now used in comic books. Like some notable superheroes was the Ghost Rider, who might have been like maybe end of Silver Age. Ghost Rider, Nova, yeah, Jonah Hex. I think he appeared around this time. I'm trying to think of anyone else. Uh, Maybe Iron Fist, Luke Cage. Uh, Man, just brain dead. Black Panther had his first issue in this. G.I. Joe, and some other comics kind of started appearing around this time. So yeah. So at number one we have this one. Secret Wars number 8. We already got the gist of it. Next we have the Eternals. And so the Eternals, I don't really know much about them, but I know that they were written by Jack Kirby, and they're or drawn by Jack Kirby, and Jack Kirby is the king of comics. And a lot of people want at least a Jack Kirby comic. I actually have about 15 Jack Kirbys, I think. But if you're a comic collector who really wants a Jack Kirby in his collection, get Kamandi. Kamandi's been on the comic book review maybe a couple times. And the reason why I say get Kamandi is Jack Kirby did Kamandi for DC. And it's still relatively cheap, but it has been going up lately, like in popularity. So I said get it now. But same with the Eternals. The Eternals have really spiked up, mostly because Marvel announced a Eternals movie, and so everyone wants the Eternals. So that's kind of how that works. If there's a movie announced about a movie, everyone wants to go get the comic. So yeah. So next we have Star Wars number 1. I do actually have this one. It's at number 3. So yay. I do have this one. It's been the comic book review I think a couple times. I think once, but that was like years ago. When I used to do it like 2 years ago, and then I stopped for a long time. Then I bought it back last year around like September-ish. I think it was sometime. I don't know when. I reviewed it sometime in the past. So next is Amazing Spider-Man number 252. We probably skip over that one. At number 5, we have Wolverine number 1. It's the first solo comic of Wolverine. Next, you have the Savage She-Hulk number 1. First appearance of She-Hulk for solo comic, and yeah. Okay. Next, you have Thor 337. This is the first appearance of Beta Ray Bill. This is the dude on the cover. Next, at number 8, you have Spider-Woman number 1. New complete origin, and the mask is added to her costume. Oh, and she came out of the Bronze Age too. And Punisher. Okay, yeah. Wow, how did I miss these dudes? Okay. Next, you have the Amazing Spider-Woman. No. Oh my gosh. Amazing Spider-Man, number 129. This is the first appearance of the Punisher and the Jackal. Next, at number 10, you have the giant-size X-Men number 1. The first appearance of Colossus, Storm, Nightcrawler, Thunderbird. Of the new X-Men, second appearance of Wolverine, and first appearance of Wolverine on the X-Men team. And so some other people who came out of this Bronze Age 2 was the Wolverine, Rogue from X-Men, Moon Knight, Black Cat came out too. Madam, but yeah, uh, yeah, ooh, that Black Panther comics at #1. Okay, so yeah, so there's some things that came out around this time. So next you have the Silver Age. The Silver Age of comic books was everything from 1953, well, yeah, to 1972. The Silver Age of comic books introduced many people, many superheroes. A lot of the stories in these comic books will later be adapted into other comic books. Well, well, I meant, other comic books and TV shows. And because a lot of the TV show Flash uses comic books, is based off like comic books around this time. Uh, Characters that actually got created in this time is like Poison Ivy, the Green Lantern that we know of now, the Flash that we know of now, Green Arrow maybe no, that's Golden Age, but a lot of bad guys. But this was mostly for bad guys like Captain Cold, Sinestro, um, Brainiac. I think was around this time too, and so also this time had lots and lots of aliens. Don't be yeah. So in this time period, you had a lot of monster comics, horror comics, and aliens. Um, yeah, lots of aliens. What happened in this time period too, mostly because of the Comics Code Authority. So they tried to make it more kiddish kind of thing, but but a lot of them was like only like one shot appearances and they never came back. Also around this time is almost all of Marvel's characters were created like Iron Man, Thor, Ant-Man, basically the whole Avengers except Captain America and the Red Skull. Yeah, that's practically it. So lots and lots of basically all of the Marvel universe was created in this time period too. And yeah, so that's a brief rundown on the Silver Age. So I never won the Silver Age yet. Fantastic Four number 52. This is the first appearance of the Black Panther in the Negative Zone. Next, you have Fantastic Four number 48. First appearance of the Silver Surfer in Galactus. Next, you have Iron Man number 1. It is the first Iron Man self-titled series. Next, you have the Fantastic Four number 49, which I don't know why it doesn't give anything. Next, you have Daredevil number 1, first appearance of Daredevil and all the characters and that kind of, I guess, universe kind of thing. Next, got Submariner number 1. It's the second series with Submariner in it. You get this, you also, yeah. And you also get the origin story. First Silver Age origin story. Next, got Silver Surfer number 1. It's the first issue in the self-titled series. I next got the Amazing Spider-Man number 41, first appearance of the Rhino. And at number 9, The Incredible Hulk 102. The titled series starts again. And at number 10, you have X-Men number 1. First appearance of Cyclops, Beast, Angel, Marvel Girl, Iceman, Magneto, and Professor X in the first X-Men issue. Yeah. So I'm just scrolling down. Okay. So next you have the Golden Age of Comics. The Golden Age of Comics was mostly ruled by DC because they pretty much had no competition. Characters created in this was basically the original Green Lantern, the original Flash, Superman, Buck Rogers, the Green Hornet, the Lone Ranger, Blackhawk, trying to think of other people, Green Arrow, Wonder Woman, the Joker, Catwoman, Penguin, and yeah, so a lot of, have I said Flash Gordon, Lex Luthor, Kryptonite, Krypton, basically a lot of I think the Shadow 2 was all created around this time. Uh, and so yeah, so so a lot of comic books were created in the Golden Age. Of a lot of characters. A lot of this span, basically everything from 1952 and older, is the Golden Age. A lot of comic books did not survive the Golden Age due to, I guess, protests against them, mostly from parents who will burn their children's comics, and if they threw them away, mostly because they thought it was kind of like poisoning America's youth. It wasn't. But there's a couple that were, like, just by looking at some of the covers and stuff, like, geez, no wonder why no wonder why the Comics Code Authority existed. Okay, so, yeah. So let's just get right to this. So first you have Mad number 1. Next you have Mad number 3. Next to All-Star Comics number 6. This was like the first Justice League, and so yeah, there's a lot of people that you might recognize. So you have Doctor Fate, you have Hawkman, the original Green Lantern, Flash, Spectre, and yeah. Next you got Batman number 24, Batman number 38, Batman number 44. Batman 62. So this week at the origin of Catwoman. Next I have Haunt of Fear number 6. Next is Superman number 4. And then number 10 you have Tales from the Crypt number 33. You get the origin of the Crypt Keeper. So that is comic books for this week, and yeah. So these are comic books. Well, these are all the hottest comic books from this week. Now, let's just get to the comic books that we're actually reviewing. Okay, and so that was the top. The top hottest comics are going to go collect, and just in general, the Bronze, Silver, and Golden Age. So our first comic book for today is Howard the Duck. Yes, I know. Why, Patrick, are you getting Howard the Duck? Is Howard the Duck number 13? Well, if you're an avid Kiss fan, like I am, if you're a Kiss fan and a comic book fan, you will know that Howard the Duck number 13 is the first appearance of the rock band Kiss in comic book. So they're only in there for a couple pages, about 3 pages before they leave. But yeah. So this is actually a present for my dad. So I just went and read the part with Kiss, and then I stopped. The part with Kiss, I was pretty good. Give it a 4. So my dad's a huge Kiss fan, and he's always wanted the comic book Kiss in the Blood and the Ink, and I did get him that. That will be shown in later in this episode. So yeah. I said I only read the part with Kiss in it, but also I like this. So the part where it was pretty good. Liked it. I probably should have gotten number 12. So I kind of good idea what was going on. Yeah, so you probably should, because Marvel at the time was really they're like one of those comic companies to make all the comics intertwine with each other. So you actually need maybe like 3 to 5 comics to get the full story, which is pretty nuts. But back then, it was like only 30 cents for a comic book. But yeah, back then it was so expensive. No, it's like cheap. It's cheaper than a Hot Wheel. Like it's probably the cheapest. Like I bet if if comic books were still 30 cents, that'll still be the cheapest. Yeah, now I bet it'd be the cheapest thing you could buy in the modern world. Except a penny. Well, or a dime. Basically, coins. That's basically it. Like, yeah. Guys, got a nice new background for today. So this is Detective Comics number 354. And so this one had a new character, as you can see, Dr. Tintin? And so basically, he's kind of like a, so this one was pretty good, I liked it a lot. He has a power of scaring people to death. Yes, I know. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but, I'm not gonna spoil anything. But also, also this is actually, so this is actually like 1966. This when this comic came out. As said about the Silver Age, so this guy, I don't think he really lasted. I think he was only in effect this issue, and that's it. A lot of comics like that. Also, this actually has a second story of the elongated man, which is now on Flash. No health did me. Fun fact. Okay, so I'll give this comic book a 5-star review. I enjoyed it, liked it a lot. It was in good shape. Got somewhat relatively cheap. And yeah. Next, we got Marvel Team Up number 20, featuring Spider-Man and the Black Panther. So, yeah. So this one, if I remember correctly, I have not read this one in a long time. This one was relatively okay. I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it. So I'll just give it a 3. Okay, so next we have the Batman Adventures Continue. So back in the 90s, you had the Batman Adventures, like 90s, 2000s, and basically it was a series based off of the comic book. Oh, no, I meant not the comic books. Wow, I meant basically this comic series is based off the TV show Batman the Animated Series, and I actually have all the issues in a graphic novel kind of thing. That's why I didn't collect them, because I have my own graphic novel. And so this comic series was pretty popular. But they stopped it after like a couple years, kind of thing. About 3 years, they stopped it. Sorry, but actually, this year they came back with this. This is number 1, and yeah. So I read it, and I read it, and I'm just gonna. So I read it, and it's just like the drawings are just like the TV show kind of thing, as you can see. Let me see. We get to Lex Luthor quick. See, it's all like the TV show, which I find kind of cool. So I liked it a lot. So I'll give this a 5-star review. Next, get X-Men number 1. This is a reprint, by the way. So don't be like, no, this is a reprint. Yeah, I'm cheap. Okay, so as you can see, I have this black stuff up here. I think it's just from it rubbing against the other comic books I had in my pile of comic books to read. And then when I go places, I put them in a bag, so they're rubbing against each other. So that's something that would happen. So that's what I think would happen, because at the time, I didn't have many of these bags. Like these protective coverings like I have now. So, yeah. So this one was good. And they really just kind of bully her the whole time, and I feel kind of bad for her. But yeah, I thought this was really good. I liked it, and I'll give this about a 4-star review. Well, why 4 stars? Well, because I'm not a big X-Men guy, to be honest. I don't know why. It's just I've never really been a big X-Men guy. I don't know why. Like, I don't mind the X-Men. Like, you know, like, I find them okay, but they're not, like, on my list of comic books to get anytime soon kind of thing. So, yeah. So now I'm back with this one, but I forgot to mention, this is actually in a special bag called Mylar. And what Mylar is, it's like, it's kind of like, like, it's like a regular one of these, but this one is made with acid. Well, this one's acid free. But, like, so this one, if I keep it in this bag, like, for years and years and years, over time, it'll start breaking down your comic book, kind of disintegrating it. So that's why if you have these older comic books, put them in Mylar. Because, well, first, because they don't break down the comic book, but I think they look way nicer in Mylar. So I'll always put them in Mylar. It's pretty, it just makes the comic books look nicer. So next we have Simpsons number 3. So yeah, we're getting close to finishing The Simpsons, guys. So, The Simpsons have been on every episode of the comic book review. Mostly because it's the comic book I'm really just trying to finish right now. And I'm almost done. Yay. So yeah. So this one, the prize puma of, the school mascot is a puma or something like that, and it's stolen. And so Lisa and Bart need to figure out where it is before Principal Skinner gets back from a school discipline convention. Yeah, so pretty intense stuff. But yeah, so this one was good. I liked it a lot. I'll give it a 5 because it was funny. It was a nice story and all too. So next we got Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos number 72. And I think this is a pretty cool cover, like, all of them just kind of charging. I thought it was kind of cool cover. So basically what Sergeant Fury is, if you don't know, so back in the 60s, they came out with a Nick Fury agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he had gray hair, eye patch, and all. And what they did was they actually came up with Sergeant Fury. And Sergeant Fury, well, it's either that or the other way around, I don't know. It's either this came first or the other one came first. But either way, they're like, hey, let's depict Sergeant Fury in the 60s as Nick Fury, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Or they had... So, I don't know which one came first offhand, but, like, if this came first, I think it was like a thing. They wanted to depict Sergeant Fury in the 60s as Nick Fury, and so that's how they had Sergeant Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Or if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came first, like, hey, let's see, let's get more of his backstory. He fought during World War II and led the Howling Commandos, and then came this, one of the two. I don't know which one came first, but either way, Sergeant Fury depicts Nick Fury in the 40s, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Depicts him in the 60s. So now you're asking, how did Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury come in? He comes in as being his son. Yeah. So I think Marvel did that good. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, how do you get this from? This is Nick Fury. How is he African American now? Because he was not African American until the movies came out about 10 years ago now. Oh my gosh, it's been that long. But yeah, so yeah, so in the comic books they just had him be the father of African American Nick Fury, which I think they just did that pretty good. Okay, so this comic book. This dude at the bottom remembers his first mission. So they're only in this for maybe a couple pages, and getting a couple at the end. So he remembers his first mission, and it was actually pretty good. I liked it a lot. So basically, he's in the Sahara Desert in a town where he meets I think it's a French soldier who likes the Nazis' cause, and so they try to, it's Nazi occupied, and the guy leading it, some French dude who supports the Nazis, something like that, and they try to escape. I'm not gonna say anything else, but I liked it a lot. It was okay. I'll give it a 4. Now you guys are like, oh my gosh, Sony has a first appearance of the Justice League. No, I don't. This is a reprint. You can tell because it says $3.99. So yeah, because I'm cheap again. Okay, so I've actually seen one of these in my whole life. It was like for like $1,000. There's no way I was getting it, sadly. But so this is actually a good comic book. I like it a lot. I give it a 5. But the thing was bugging me was with Superman and Batman. So like at the beginning, you had Superman, Batman, everyone's going to the justice, like the Hall of Justice kind of thing, only to get the assignments and stuff. But Superman and Batman aren't there. Like they show them going to the Hall of Justice, them being at like the headquarters Hall of Justice thing. Then once all the fighting happens, they're not in the comic book until the end. I'm saying like, what happened to Batman and Superman? Yeah, so basically they're fighting Starro the Conqueror, and what he is, he's basically a starfish, and he's basically just trying to conquer Earth. Really, that's pretty much the gist of it. And they fight him. Yay! I'm not gonna say what happens. So this is a good one. I'll give it a 5. So this is our second last comic book. The Sergeant Fury number 120. So this time, Sergeant Fury and his Helen Commandos are sent into occupied France to go and get some information on a factory on a missile that the Nazis are creating. And so they go behind enemy lines, and one of the soldiers, kind of figures out where he's at. He recognizes the place and finds out, hey, my uncle lives nearby. Came visit, see if he's okay. And they all like, okay, let's just go visit your uncle. Only to get there and find out he's been taken away by Nazis. So they find out which camp he's in, and they raid the camp. And yeah, not gonna say anything else. Yeah. So yeah. So sorry, but yeah, I was outside all day, and my sciences aren't agreeing with the pollen out there. So yeah. So this is a good comic book. I like it a lot. Give it a 4. And yeah. Okay, guys. Next we have our last comic book, but we have a pretty kiss-filled episode here. And this is actually my most expensive comic book I ever bought, with $156 off of eBay. Now I don't use eBay because I'm actually give this to my dad for a birthday gift because he's turning 50 this year, and yeah. So I, of course, knowing me, I read it first, and now I'm going to review it. This is the original. It's a 5.5 grade, printed in Kiss's Real Blood. All the red ink has its piece of blood in it. And yeah, this is a really big comic book. Like, look at this compared to the time frame. This is kind of around the same time too, when this one came out. Like, this is huge. Like, look at all that space. How do I get that to the thumbnail? I have no idea. And is it? Geez, it's even. It's like an inch, maybe, like bigger, like maybe like a couple centimeters taller than the average comic, but yeah, I finally have it. So this has been a very wild couple years trying to track one of these down. My mom hates eBay to the core. I don't know why. She just thinks it's not trustworthy and stuff. And so she's like, okay, I will buy your father this comic book, but we have to find it anywhere but eBay. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, but prior to this last couple of weeks when I really started looking, I've been trying to find this comic book for almost 2 to 3 years. After I found it, I was going to go buy it, but it was gone. Exactly. Man. So, yeah. So now I have finally found it after 3 years. I even called every comic book store in the city of Omaha and all the way to Lincoln to see if anyone had it. No one had it. And so, yeah, so I finally went like, hey, I'm going to go collect, see if I can track one down. I finally tracked one down in Maryland. Yeah. And I bought it. So yeah, after it's been almost exactly 4 years to the date, because I'm filming this like in June, like 25th. So roughly, I think it's actually been 4 years now. I've been trying to find this, and it's been a lot. And last time I saw one was 4 years. It's nuts. So this has also smashed my record of the most expensive comic book ever bought by $120. Yeah, I've not gotten a comic book over 30 until now. Yes, and so yeah, so my dad, this comic book is really special to him. He's a huge Kiss fan. He's always wanted to have the comic book. And like the 3 top things he wants is a Batmobile, 66 Batmobile with a flamethrower, like working flamethrower, everything. But that's not gonna happen. His pinball machine, which is probably could happen, if he's crazy enough to buy one, and this. So knock number 3 off. Yay! So yeah. So let's actually open this thing up. Yeah, let's flip through the pages. Ooh. So yeah, this has been actually a pretty Kiss-filled episode. So I know early in this episode we had Howard the Duck, was the first appearance of Kiss in comic. But yeah, so yeah, this is probably the blood in here, Oh my god, that is so funny. Yesterday I was thinking, and I was like, I knew when I filmed this video, I'm gonna be going through. Actually, whip it. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But it doesn't damage the thing that's overseas. It's all fine. So yeah, so I really like the ink in here. It's very dense ink. It's good. I like the drawings too. And what's funny is, like, even the people who are supposed to be Kiss, like Gene and Paul, they don't really look like. No, but they do look in real life. Mostly because at the time, no one knew who they looked like without the makeup. So yeah, no one did. But yeah, so no one knew what they looked like without the makeup, because even in public they always hid their faces too, like with a mask with a bandana over the face, kind of thing, stuff like that. With sunglasses and caps, stuff like that. But I really like the ink and stuff, and I really like the plot. Also, like how Dr. Doom's in there. Ooh. But so throughout the comic, they even had like little like snippets like this, where they kind of talked about how they put blood in the ink and stuff, things like that, and it shows pictures of them actually doing it. There's actually a lot of like ads for magazines, like rock magazines and stuff, and they even actually give the whole history of the band too, after this cool picture and stuff like that. They actually give the whole history of the band too, which is kind of cool, and like the discography and stuff like that. Yeah. So basically, not to give away anything. I think I really like the drawings and stuff like that, and just flipping through, and see there's a lot of Kiss ads. They even have some of the albums and stuff. I have all 3 of those albums, by the way. 2 of these are hanging up, these 2 are hanging up in my basement. So sadly, they're never ever going to be reviewed on the album review unless something happens. Like if we move or something, we have to take them down. Which is, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But if that happens, yes, then we can review those too. This one I do have, and it's coming up. Like I mean, it's coming up. Like I just listened to it. Like I'm listening. I'm like in the process of listening to it. So it's coming up in the next season. That one is. Yeah, like in vinyl. And I just announced. Yep, I guess I just announced what's happening next season. Vinyl is joining us. Okay, so yeah, this is actually kind of cool. I like how they have Dr. Doom in the back, Kiss in the front. So this is actually printed in Kiss's blood. And yeah, I'm giving this 5-star review. And probably 5.5 has now gone down to 5. Wow. I even dreamed, I was thinking yesterday when I was reading this, like, hey, can't wait to review this. And then I was thinking, I bet when I review this, I'm actually going to accidentally go to rip it. It's the first page I flipped. Wow. Just wow. Can't believe it. So yeah. Man. So if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe. If you have any comments, complaints, questions, and answers to the questions being asked, put it down in the comments below. And yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.